Hi everyone, we're going to take a look at Snapseed, a photo app for iOS, and we're looking at it here on the iPad. And I just wanted to show some basic adjustments that I like to make when I have a photo I want to work with. The photo that you're looking at right now, it's not all that interesting, and by the time we're done with it, it's still not going to be interesting, but it'll be a better looking, uninteresting photo. Now, as you can see, there's some problems with this photo. The sky is not well defined at all. In the farm buildings here in the center, the buildings have what we call blown highlights. The whites are overexposed. There's really nothing you can do to recover those. Those will be the same. And this middle area here just needs to be lifted up so the shadows are and colors a little more defined. But first, let's work with the sky and see what we can do with that. And one of the best tools to use for that, if you just want to work with a portion of the photo, is the Selective Adjust tool. So let's do that. Let's select the Selective Adjust. And at the bottom here, you'll see there's a little symbol to add a point. And with Selective Adjust, you just add a point on the photo to the area that you want to adjust. So I just want to adjust the sky. So I'm going to add a point in the blue sky area. And by pinching and unpinching, you can control the size of the area that you want to adjust. So if I pinch out, I have all the sky, or I can pinch in and just adjust a little bit of the sky. In this case, I want to adjust all the sky. And it's not going to affect the trees. It will affect the roof here a little bit because the tones kind of match. But you have three basic adjustments that you can make. You can adjust the brightness, contrast, and saturation. All you have to do is slide your finger up and down to choose the adjustment that you want to make. So first, we're going to choose brightness, and let's darken the sky. And let's take it down to about there. It's pretty good. Now let's increase the contrast to better define the sky and the clouds. So we'll bring that up a little bit. And next, let's increase the saturation. We're not going to increase the saturation very much because the next tool I'm going to use will add a whole lot to the sky. So let's just increase it just a little bit so we know that there's some blue in there. And you can compare by pressing the compare button down at the bottom of the screen. As you can see, the sky already looks better, and the rest of the photo is unaffected. So let's go ahead and accept that by pressing the apply button at the bottom right of the screen, and it will apply those changes. And the next tool I want to use is in the tune image area, and it's one of my favorite tools. It's called ambiance, and it adjusts, these tools adjust the entire photo. So you have brightness, ambiance, contrast, saturation, and white balance. White balance is if you want to correct the overall color of the photo if you didn't have white balance set correctly when you shot the photo in the first place. Let's go back to the ambience tool, and we'll just increase it. Now what it's going to do, you'll see it bring up the shadow area in these trees. They'll be better defined. It'll bring up the shadows here, bring up some concentration, and it just overall will lift the photo without overdoing all the controls. So let's bring this everything up here. There we go. Now if I hit the compare button now, you'll see a pretty big difference, especially like I said before, in these shadow areas. Let's try that. Now look how much these shadows were all brought out, so you can there's more definition. And again, look at this tree area. Whoops, let me get there. Okay, let's go ahead and apply now. Before I apply those changes, I think that the saturation is just a little too much in the ground area here, so I want to lower the saturation just a little bit. And that's pretty good. And let's go ahead and apply these changes. And the last tool I want to use, or the second to last tool I want to use, is details. And there's an adjustment in here called structure. Now what structure does is it brings out overall definition in the photo and contrast. For example, look at the clouds. If I choose the structure tool, again by moving up and down to choose the adjustments you want to make, and then swipe over, I'm going to go all the way over. Notice what happens to the clouds. As you can see, they're much more defined, but we get some kerfuffle below these clouds, so we need to back that off a bit, excuse me, and just use a little bit. You have to be very careful with this tool because it can add a lot of noise to the photo, which of course you don't want. And one of the things I wish that Snapseed has was a tool to adjust noise levels and make them better in a photo. Another tool I wish it has is an overall zoom, so I could zoom into a portion of the photo just to see how my adjustments are affecting the photo. So maybe someday in the future they'll add that. So I'm also going to increase sharpness a little bit, maybe up to about 25. And my settings here, they're just for me. Of course, when you're using this, you'll have completely different settings depending on the picture. So now let's apply that. And let's go down here and let's compare the changes we've made to the original photo. If I can get there. There we go. You can see a pretty major difference. And the last thing I want to do is let's go into the crop tool, and let's expand this all the way over. As you can see over the left, there's just part of a building over here. It's kind of distracting. So I'm going to crop in a little bit, take that out, so that we don't have a distraction on the edges, and apply that. And we're done. Once again, let's compare. You're going to see it jump a little bit because we applied the crop tool. And as a slight bonus, let's go down here to the black and white. And when you go into the black and white section of Snapseed, it will automatically apply a neutral black and white tone. There's a lot of adjustments you can make here, but one that I like is the filters adjustment over here on the right side. And one of the tricks in black and white photography, film photography, was when you wanted to really darken blue sky, is to use a red filter. And if you really, really wanted to darken the black sky, use a red filter with a polarizer. But here you can see if I apply a red filter, you'll see a dramatic difference in the sky, but you'll also see some other things happening that aren't quite as nice. So there you see a big difference, but it also brings up the ground a little bit. So there's some other things for you to play with in Snapseed. So I hope you found this little tutorial useful, and thank you for watching.